At Opel, we use AI to build AI. But before we get into that, I want you to imagine, and when you do, I want you to go back to that golden age when you were a little kid and anything was possible. You wanted to be a firefighter, an astronaut, a superhero. Well, AI truly is in the same place right now. It's at its inception. We don't know what is actually possible with AI because we haven't tried it or we're fearful of trying it. The Wright brothers imagined flight. They were told it was impossible, but what did they do? They went out and they became engineers, designers, pilots, and ultimately made that imagination a reality. They were the data scientists of their time. But just like the rest of these amazing technical revolutions, they did not take off. They did not transform society or change the way we operate our businesses until they were three things. And those three things are easy, cheap, and ubiquitous. And I think we can all agree that AI right now is none of those. In fact, it's highly complex. I don't know how many of you have played Fortnite, but the first thing that happens is you run into a brick wall. Well, trying to get AI working inside of your company is kind of like that experience. Where is the data that I need? How do I get access to it? Where do I get the permissions? Who do I need to hire? Do I need a PhD data scientist? How do I evaluate whether they're actually up to the task? How do I get that model into production? How do I evaluate its success, its progress it's delivering to us? I'm getting anxiety just looking at this slide, but I want everyone to take a nice deep breath, because Opel empowers you to break through that wall. And the way Opel does that is by accelerating your idea into production by a minimum of 10x. And some of our customers are experiencing 30x accelerations, 40x accelerations. So the idea comes from the C-suite or maybe a head of product. Then that person on your team that's in charge of actually making that imagination a reality, that might be the data scientist. It may even be an analyst or maybe a business or a product domain expert. Well, now with Opel, using our proprietary technology or our AI that we call behavioral assimilation, they can actually build and deploy production-grade AI models in as little as minutes, hours, or a day or two. And what behavioral assimilation is doing is it's modeling the behavior, but most importantly, the intuition of the world's top data scientists, enabling all of those different people I described, regardless of technical acumen, to deliver to the company, and enabling those PhD data scientists to become much more productive. And then finally, since we're talking about IoT, our software will put that model into production for you in the form of a very lightweight, highly performant model that can be deployed on the edge or maybe on a phone. So we're looking at a quick demo here. We're going to upload a training set. This is supervised learning. You can upload a validation set if you like. Here we're on the validation page where we're going to maybe change a couple things, change the target, maybe ignore something. We name the model. We set the runtime to 20 minutes to try our idea, see if it's provable. We set the type of problem, the measure of success, which is accuracy. Behavioral assimilation or BASE starts doing massive benchmarking, building hundreds and hundreds of models with each algorithm, learning from the peaks and valleys of performance, selecting the best performing iterations of those algorithms and putting them into this model that is available for deployment, accessible via RESTful API. You can do a test prediction. And then if you like it, you can copy and paste that code right into your environment and you're off and running. But it doesn't stop there. We have metrics, so the data scientists in the room can actually see things like a confusion matrix. They can look at false positive versus true positive, precision recall curves. And then we have feature importance. How is the model making its decision? If you're in a regulated industry, this is very important. It also enables the people that build these models to explain how they work and have confidence in them. So we've opened up that black box. So for you C-level folks in the room, that next, or maybe a product leader, that next idea that when you go talk to your machine learning group or your data science group and they tell you that's a fantasy, there's no way we can do it, if you have Opel, they no longer have an excuse. For the data science leaders in the room, right now you're limited to how many business units inside of your company you can serve. With Opel, you can open that team up to every business unit in the company. And for the data scientists in the room, you can now do things you never thought possible. So it's time to take those ideas you have and use Opel to capitalize on them. I'll just close by saying that I imagined being a pirate when I grew up. I'm very proud, actually, to be part of continuing the legacy of the Pirates of Silicon Valley. But I want to point out that this is all about just trying AI and not limiting yourself. Make sure imagination becomes your only limiter, not the technical acumen of your team. We have a booth out there. We'd love to talk to you about the specific challenges you're facing and demonstrate to you how Opel can bring those to fruition. Thank you.